there's less variability in a deadlift because I just want, like, my goal is for them to be able to keep the weight underneath, right? It's when weight starts to get in front of us that things are going to sort of go downhill. So we see this a lot just in people that aren't well trained in a hinge or a deadlift position, or just don't have the range of motion or the position, like not able to get into that position, in which we can modify things so that they can get there, meaning we typically bring the weight up to them or just choose a completely different movement with the same intention. But in any case, if weight gets in front of us, it changes, again, physics, the moment arm within the movement. Said differently, there's a lot more pressure and strain on the low back, or shear strain on the low back, when the weight's farther out in front of us. So if we can keep it right underneath us, you set yourself up for success of doing the movement in a way that's just that doesn't overload those tissues. The hard part is when you're young and healthy, it's like you're less likely to injure things. It's like when you do that for 4, 5, 6 years, and you have that repetitive load on the low back, that's where things start to go awry. But young, healthy individuals can typically do things not in an idealist way and get away with it and recover quick just because they're young and healthy, right? But when I'm working with patients on this movement, or patients that then become clients that, again, either haven't done this movement ever in their lives or have been hesitant to get back into it, I'm super specific with how I want them to set it up. Now, there are so many things that we can say within a deadlift, like when we coach it, but again, it's changing the external environment that's going to help them more than anything else. And so if I say, step to this kettlebell, go down, take a big breath in at the bottom, when you pick it up, stand straight up, and when you go back, like, that's too many words, right? So typically what I do when I coach somebody is I'll coach the position, and then I'm just going to see what they look like within the movement itself. Because a lot of times the weight is too light for us to cause an issue or overload tissues. If it's not in the most ideal way, it's probably okay anyway. And so what I typically say is, we'll start with a kettlebell deadlift. I want the handle to be at your shoelaces. I want you to go down and grab the weight and just don't pick it up. So step over the kettlebell, grab it, don't pick it up yet. Good. So now I can see, so grab the weight. Let me know if you get tired. Now I can see, are they okay from a position perspective to lift this weight without overloading tissues? So I can tweak things here. A lot of times I'll just be like, pick it up and put it back down where you picked it up or where you had it. And I just want to see what they do under light. So go ahead and pick it up and then go right back down. Good. So for the most part, you move pretty well, right? What I'll pick apart now is I want you to just look at a spot in front of you. So that keeps this over this. And then what I want you to do is just pull your shoulders down a little bit more. Okay, now pick it up. Go right back down. Do 2 more of those. Good, now come up without it. Okay, step back a little bit. So pretty good overall. You have done a deadlift before. I could tell that you lifted weight. The one thing that I'll say is that it was more squatty than it was hingy. And so the next piece of that is, like, I just pick one little thing to tweak and make it an external cue and see how that changes the movement. So what I want you to do is the same thing, but I want your knees and your elbows to be in line versus your knees to be in front.
Okay.
So I want your knees and elbows to be in line. So go down and grab it, get in that position. Get the knees back just a little bit. Yep. So you see how you're loading this a little bit more?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, look at a spot in front of you, and now pick up the weight and find that on the way down. So hips go straight back towards it. Yeah, exactly. Back up, right back down, and then do one more. Right back down. Okay, and then come up without it and step back. Okay, so did you see on your second rep how you hit the barbell?
Yeah.
So this barbell didn't move, and your feet didn't move, which means where did the kettlebell go? Forward, right?
Yeah.
So now I have an external cue, unintentionally, for you to keep the barbell or the kettlebell underneath you, right? Really hard to do that, and also keep your knees in line with your elbows or a little bit behind, right? So either the weight's going to creep forward for you, or your knees are going to creep forward, and then we're just changing the muscles that are working within that movement. Overall, really good. I just gave you one thing, you were able to clean it up, right? And so this is sort of what I look for. Every person is going to be a little bit different, but the principles across the board are: I want that weight to be underneath you or handle to be at your shoelaces. I want your knees and elbows to be in line to have like a true hinge or deadlift position. And then we could talk about like creating pressure within the abdomen so that you're just firing the core muscles in a way that's more favorable. Okay. And so overall, really good. Now, step to the barbell. Don't pick it up because I'm standing over top of this, but go down and grab it. I want the same things to be true. So I want the handle to be over your feet, the middle of your foot, shoelaces. Elbows or knees behind your elbows, just a tad. Good. Pull your shoulders down. Now pick that up and put it back down. Put it back where you had it. Okay, again. Back down. Do it one more time. Back down. Don't let go of the bar. Look at the bar in relation to your foot.
And forward.
Yeah, and forward, right? So it's really hard to keep that position, keep the barbell underneath you, relax. And that's a common thing that I find. When we go from a kettlebell to a barbell, the only thing that changed is the equipment. But now because the kettlebell can't be like in between your feet, or the barbell can't be in between your feet, it becomes even more challenging to be able to keep it in a good position, right? It's not the end of the world for it to sneak in front of your toes a little bit, and you're a little bit taller with longer bones, so that might actually be a good position for you. But across the board, the more on top of the weight we are, the easier it is for your body to kind of organize in a way that's favorable. If bar shifts in front of you more, we're getting more shear force at the low back. Over time, that's not good, right? So my intentions for you are keep the barbell back behind you, almost like make your shins bleed when you pick it up, so that you know that you're close enough to you, and then your knees have to stay in line with your arms. Okay, so I'm here, picking it up, and when I go back down, I'm right back to that position. Okay, and so I don't care within one session if that is perfect. I just want the intentions to be there. What you'll find is over 3, 4, 5 months, as we keep doing the movement with that intention, it'll clean up a ton. And so then it makes your job easier. You can say less and just say, hey, bar stays at your shoelaces, knees stay behind your elbows, lift the weight, and then you'll figure it out. It's 2 external cues that just made it so much easier than me saying, bring your hips back, take a breath in, keep your head down, like all of these little things. It's just overwhelming, especially to somebody that's never done it. Right? So that's my TED talk on deadlifting. Good work.